Hello, everyone. We are live. Thank you so much for joining us once again. This is Magnet Monday. We are your hosts, Erica Enid and myself, Dee, and we are here just to talk about the market, real estate, marketing, social media, and everything. So thank you so much for joining us today. And today is really special because we have the amazing none other than the Queen of Miami Real Estate, Jennifer Gomez, aka Jenny South Miami. How are you, Jenny?
Hi, guys. Thanks so much. Wow, what a title to live up to. The Queen of Miami Real Estate.
Hello, you are the queen, like the very first agent to ever sell Miami. So hello, we have to give credit when credit is due. So I just wanted to introduce you a little bit. Jennifer Gomez is a luxury specialist, a leader of the Selling Miami Group. She's serviced in South Florida for over a decade, born and raised in Miami. Her detailed marketing knowledge and expertise in selling luxury homes and real estate investments, foreclosures, short sales, transactions, and everything pre-construction, developments, and all of that has made Jennifer a leading in the Miami real estate area. So Jenny, tell us a little bit about yourself, because we know that you are very well known, but maybe like my audience from social media and marketing, all of that, wants to get to know you a little better. So tell us about yourself.
I'm not here for business.
So it's exciting to actually be closer to almost.
Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can mute. Okay,
we basically
perfect.
have almost 19 years in this industry now in November. So it's exciting that when you said a decade, I'm like, wait a minute, almost 2 decades. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, I'll be honest with you. I don't see myself anything more than just a great realtor trying to make it in this industry, just being consistent. And I think that is truly the key of any business in general, but particularly in real estate. It's being consistent. It's hustling every day. It's having, friends and family and clients know who you are and what you do. And honestly, just being a service provider, someone that can help them in all aspects of the industry. So whether it's, an inspection, a mortgage, preparing for, a sale or your credit or whatnot. I've been helping people for such a long time. And through those resources that I have been to so many people, I have also been able to help them buy or sell a home. So that's really what it is. It's just being helpful to everybody and anybody that I know that has gotten me to the success where I am. Because really all my business comes from just friends and referrals. It's now that I'm starting to market, because as I've expanded my business, I have also grown a team, like you had mentioned, and I have a team of over 25 agents right now. And honestly, it just happened so naturally, organically, as most people would say. I wasn't looking to be a team leader. I, just fell into it as I shared the opportunity of the company that I was with and talking to people. I realized that this business is very lonely. Real estate is a lonely business, and when you can connect with somebody and come alongside with someone and be able to just be a part of something greater than just yourself and doing it together, number one, it's that much funner, right? And you hold each other accountable. You hold each other accountable in a way that maybe you didn't see it that you should have been doing or you could be doing, but because that other person is doing it, you want to do it too. And so at the end of the day, if you're consistent about it, listen, the finances are there for you as well. So
absolutely
beautiful.
Well, I mean, I've known you for many years, so it's an honor to have you in our Magnet Monday again, because you were one of the first person that we had in Magnet Monday, and you're like familiar to us. So I know that I hear so many exciting news, and I want you to talk to me today about the switch that everybody's talking about. What's LPT? Everybody's asking me like, what is LPT? So come on, give us the news about the switch exclusive. And what is an exclusive. What is LPT?
So you guys really are getting the exclusive interview right now. I mean, it is true. The rumors are true. I have switched to LPT Realty, and I couldn't be any more excited because, I realized that the company I was with prior to, I truly loved it. I cannot say anything negative. But I also feel that things are evolving, the market is shifting, and I now have a product that I can share with everybody, for everybody, and be a blessing to not only my buyers and my sellers, but to other agents as well. And when I was approached with the opportunity, I honestly didn't think about it twice. I knew that it was something that was going to help other agents in this industry. And the more that I have grown as a professional, I realize it's not just about me. It really isn't. You know, it's not just about my family and the financial benefits of working, because at the end of the day, we do this to put food on the table. You know, real estate is not fun. Real estate is a career choice, and it is the way that we put food on the table for our families. And so in that, we have to work and make money. But now if we all work together, right? And I think people have lost that word together. Everybody's just independent contractors, everybody's out on their own, everybody's doing things on their own, and they don't know what together is. And again, going back to the fact that real estate is a lonely world. You can belong to the biggest brokerage, the biggest office, and really still feel so empty inside and feel so alone, right? So I really feel that this company is changing all of that. It is really, truly agent focused, real estate focused, which I think to me is big too, because we don't just want to be, you know, bringing in a bunch of agents and nobody knows what to do or how to do it. Okay. And where I see that LPT Realty is striving is in the fact that they are putting tools and marketing material in our hands immediately. Okay. So like day one that you join the company, you pretty much can have your marketing material available to you to be able to start promoting for properties, to sell properties, because that's what we're in the business for, is to sell properties, right? Help a buyer buy a property or help a seller sell a property. And so the company is actually giving us marketing material for free, 168 pieces in a box with your photo on it, with postcards, thank you cards, door hangers, a huge sign that goes in front of the property that maybe you've listed with pictures of the property, and a number that will be directly for the client to be able to put that number in and get all the information about the property that you're selling. So again, it is for real estate. It is a beautiful box with your information on it that will honestly help you gain either the sale of that property or perhaps another buyer or another seller that sees the value that you are bringing to that other client and they want your help as well. And I think that is huge because, you know, so many people have a sale and they don't do anything after that sale. They don't follow up. They don't send a postcard. They don't do anything. And, you know, it's funny because people say like, well, postcards, I mean, that's so old school. Guess what?
Right.
Quite honestly, I feel that you don't have to reinvent the wheel with real estate.
Nope.
You just need to actually keep it going. And yes, there are new ways in our era, right? We've got Google, we've got, you know, SEOs, we've got geo-targeting. And guess what? This company offers geo-targeting also for like $99. It's crazy. There's a special tool that they have within the tools that they've given us. So CRM, marketing systems that will be able to generate leads to your website, a website that they give you. You know, years ago, I had paid like almost $3,000 for my initial website, and it never brought me one client. And
Exactly.
so this system, right? Like it's crazy because you have certain things in place, but if you don't know how to use them, then it's like, what are they for? And the company has made it so simple that literally in a couple of buttons, you've already got your business cards. You've even got open house signs that they're delivering to you for free. Your house sign for when you have a listing, you can get it for free too. I mean, what company gives you so many things for free? Right. And at the end of the day, when either you're just starting in the industry or even as a seasoned agent, anything free is wonderful. You've already put so much in, you know, you went through the school, maybe, you know, you had to get your license, you had to pay your MLS dues, which these days are like through the roof,
Exactly.
right? And so all this money is going out, but what is coming in? Absolutely nothing. So now you have materials and systems that the company has already established for you to really kickstart your career. And if it's already kickstarted and you're doing great, let me tell you, having this extra stuff to send out to the right people because you know who could use it, you know how you can utilize it to get another listing, man, to me, it's like, it's a win-win. And talking about a win-win, the real reason I switched, aside from all these great marketing pieces, is that so many agents these days are looking for 100% companies, right? Especially in the fact that the shift is happening. Properties aren't selling as quickly. Things are on the market more often.
Right,
And
that's what
maybe
I'm sorry to cut you. That was going to be your next question.
Right.
So you're more than happy to talk about it. Give us an insight about the market shift, since you're already in that topic.
I hate to say it. That's the truth. Like, I don't want to say anything negative about the market, but you know what? The interest rates have gone up, right? People aren't qualifying like they were a couple of months ago. And so that urge and that, push for higher and higher prices and, this competition that there was. I mean, listen, there's always going to be someone that is going to buy because they just had a baby
Right.
or passed away, or they're getting married, or they want to downsize or upgrade, right? So there is always going to be someone in our market, and it doesn't matter what market we're in. It doesn't matter if we're in Florida or any other state. The fact is that somebody's going to buy and sell at some point, right? Now, you just need to be able to go with the flow. And if you see that that high price listing isn't selling, bring it down, market it, utilize the systems. Let's say that LPT Realty is offering us, and actually market the property. We used to put the property up on the market on the MLS, and like in a second, we already had 50 contracts. That's not happening anymore, guys. Reality check, right? So now we actually have to work for our money. And if working for our money means we need to invest money into marketing, into, walking around, something as simple, like I tell my team all the time, something as simple as walking the neighborhood before you do an open house, talking to the neighbors and saying, hey, welcome, I'm having an open house. I would love to know, do you have an interest in selling your property? Because I've got a bunch of buyers that are going to be coming through on Saturday. Maybe I can bring them by. Or maybe you have a daughter or a son that's interested in looking, for a property, whether it's in the same neighborhood or somewhere else. You're making yourself available, right, to people that you didn't even know could be a potential buyer or potential seller. So the market is changing, and we just need to be diverse. I've been in the market since 2003, and I got to see the highs and the very lows of real estate.
Right.
I got to see where real estate practically stopped, and then we had short sales and foreclosures, words that didn't even make sense to most of us, right? Because people didn't even know what a short sale was. I don't even know if it had a meaning before, the 2007, 2008, 9 crash, right? But I was there. I remember being in front of, going to court with some of my clients and basically almost being ahead of the game with the attorneys that were getting paid thousands of dollars. And I would literally say, listen, I've got a contract on this property. Give me some time. Don't let them foreclose. Give me time to do a short sale. Let them modify. And sometimes, guys, I remember so many times I actually helped my clients through a modification process. I didn't make a penny from it. Not a penny. But I helped them save their home.
Right.
And when you act in good faith, and when you act right by your clients, and you can even tell them, listen, I do it time and time again, guys, don't sell. I know I'm a realtor, but I'm going to be your friend first. And don't sell your property because you don't have a plan of action. Where are you going to go next? What are you going to do with the money? I go through a process with my clients each and every time that they call me and say, hey, I'm thinking about selling. Okay, well, what's your end result? What are you thinking about doing? And I think this is going to be like my word, and my kids know it all the time. It's, what's the plan of action, right? You got to have a plan of action to be able to kind of guide yourself, and guide all the clients, guide your team, guide your other realtors around you. What's your plan of action? What's your end result? What goals do you have for yourself? So I'm excited that this transition is just going to allow me to have that much more access for other agents to have options. And I think in the shifting market, right, people need to have an option because, there's so many companies out there that are taking so much money from agents' pockets. Yeah. And I know it because I lived it. I lived it for almost 16 years of my career. I mean, I started off at a 50-50 split with my first company. I was there for almost 12 years. And I find myself to be a very dedicated and loyal agent, both to my company and both to, those who I work with, my title company, my lenders, my people, right? And even though I am very loyal and I have created bonds with them, but I also know when it's time to close that door and open another. And really it's not me, it's honestly just God. I can't take credit for it. He knows when to open and close doors in our lives, right? And
Absolutely.
this was truly a season that I had to look and say, okay, wait a minute. It's not just about me and my growth. It is about all those around me. And if I feel like more agents can benefit from having two options, and LPT Realty, basically, they've given us two options. You can have a program that you are a business builder, and all you have to pay is $500 on a transaction plus a 195 processing fee. So if you made a $10,000 commission check on a sale, guess what? All they took was $500. That's huge.
Right.
For so many years of my life, I gave up 50%, 40%, 20%, right? And to just give up $500 and be able to bring the rest back home. Listen, I made a huge investment just earlier this year. I bought a beautiful property in the Florida Keys. And I'm just like loving life. And I'm so thankful, quite honestly, for the opportunity to have that extra money in my pocket and not making somebody else richer. And although everybody has a business, right? And business owners, they have to grow also, and they have to make their income. But now the percentages are different. And prior to LPT Realty, this program wasn't available, still having all the benefits of the marketing, the CRM systems, the lead generation, the website. It just wasn't there, because when you think about 100% company, you're like, okay, I'm going to be with a 100% company, but I'm limited to what they're offering me. I'm limited to the mentorship. I'm limited to the education, because if a company is making bare minimum, right? How much can they offer you? And then the other companies that do take a split, at the end of the day, those splits, then what? I do love that this company, for instance, once you cap at $15,000, you're at 100% the rest of the year. But there's something that has really been a big impact for me in the last 3 years, and it's called revenue income. And revenue income, I didn't know what that was. I'll be honest, guys. I was like, what is that? I've only made a commission check, right? I don't make $1 more than my commission check. So what is revenue income? Revenue income is honestly just the flow of other people's success that brings you money in your pocket. So what I mean by that is simply the fact that you have shared the company with another agent. That agent basically joins in underneath you. And anytime that they do a closing until they cap, you're getting paid as well. That's huge. I've only known my own success. I've only benefited from my own success. So to now be able to pour, either wisdom or knowledge, or just even a simple information about a company like we are right now, and to be able to bless other people, to be able to make the choice for themselves and for their career, and yet still have a financial benefit from that. I mean, it's huge. It really is huge. And I am so blessed to have had this opportunity. The company is thriving. We are the fastest growing real estate company, guys. I mean, LPT Realty is just going strong. We are currently only in Florida with over 2,000 plus agents, and we are heading into other states now: Georgia, North Carolina, New Jersey, Texas, Colorado, so many other states that I am just thrilled to be able to share this with other agents in those states until we're ready to launch, and then they can join in with us. So it is such an exciting moment, because we are truly, I actually am part of the grandfather stage of LPT Realty. And I just invite anybody who is thinking about either starting a career in real estate, or already are there, or want to take their business to that next level, to just, come alongside me, ask me the questions that you're interested in finding out. And hopefully I could be a blessing to your life. And that's really my goal right now, is to just share how much more we can do with what we already have, because we're already realtors. We've already invested in ourselves and the time and the education of getting the license, and now being able to help those people that we're supposed to service, because we're supposed to service buyers and sellers with the right information, with the right education, right? And now materials that aren't coming out of our pocket, thankfully. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about all this. I really am.
Right. No, and like you said, we have to remember that in this business, we're working with people, because sometimes because it is a business and because it is your income source, you tend to forget that you're dealing with people. So that human part has to be there. And I wanted to ask you, I know that one of the main reasons that you switch is because all of the benefits that you mentioned, but also because you can give so many more resources and tools to your team. So when you have a team, how does that work on LPT Realty?
Wow. So, you know what? It's funny because when I first started in this industry, there weren't teams around. There really wasn't. Everybody was just independent on their own. And throughout the seasons of, my career, teams have started, people have come together as one. And what's cool is the fact that this company really wants to elevate teams. They want to make sure that what I know, I'm bringing and pouring into somebody else so that that other person does it right. Because a broker in any company can only go so far, right?
Right.
You're one person. You can't touch each and everybody. So with teams, you have your team leaders, you have maybe, captains in place, but you have everybody else too. So what you don't know, somebody else knows. When you're on vacation, someone else can answer that question, without feeling like guilty, like, oh my God, I'm calling my broker. I don't know if he's going to answer me, right? I think we've all felt that way. And so by not knowing, you don't feel confident in what you're doing. And so you don't excel in your career. So I think that's one of the parts that I love about LPT Realty. They really are bringing tools that were actually coming out of my pocket prior to my switch for my team. And so having that extra little income, now I could put that towards other marketing systems, other, things that are not coming out of my pocket now. So I really am excited about the teams and the fact that we're elevating our agents to another level. So my team is called the Stelly Miami Group. Like I had mentioned, just something that happened organically. I grew to like 35 plus agents rather quickly. And what I'm loving now is that some of those agents that I have poured into are now creating their own teams. And I always said it from day one. I said, listen, I don't expect you to be a part of my team forever.
Right.
Because of our revenue income, okay, and the fact that what I pour into you is going to be a long-term blessing, right? I want you to become a top producer. I want you to get all your, your knowledge, any questions that you have from me, grow and learn, and then leave and either create your own team or become your own top producer. And I will help you because at the end of the day, that's where the cycle continues. Really, I love to call it the legacy.
Right.
Because what I poured into somebody else, now that person is pouring into others, and hopefully those will continue that legacy. And it's beautiful to see. And what's funny is that there isn't competition. And that's really important because right now, every realtor out there, we're all in competition.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going when I was last at, an office that I used to, in my real estate office, when we used to go to an office, okay, way prior to COVID. But when I used to go to the office, I remember being at the printing machine and people would be like flipping their papers, like, don't look at what I'm doing. Don't see what I'm doing. I can't share with you my tips and tricks. And LPT Realty is changing that because we want to be able to elevate that other agent. We want to make sure that that other agent is doing things right so that then we can continue the flow, right? The flow of the revenue, the flow of the business in itself. And so that is huge because we don't see that anywhere else. No way, shape, or form would I have ever wanted to share with another agent what and how I was doing it. And through my team and now through my organization, we are building something that we have come together. The company supports us. The company is giving us the tools. And yet we're able to just push forward with a different mindset and view on what real estate is all about.
Well, that's beautiful. And you mentioned a couple of keys. And we always have different seasons in our life. You mentioned that. You mentioned the market shift, which is super important. And then you also mentioned that, we always have to go back to the postcards and door knocking and things like that. And I keep saying that right now, you know what? We don't have to change the game. We just have to go back to basics. And to
Right.
have that option where a lot of agents, you know, don't have mentors, they don't know where to go. And at the end of the day, you know, whatever we pour into others, we're gonna get back, because that's the blessings that we're gonna do, right? We're gonna get them back no matter what. So what you said is amazing. And we appreciate you for being here today.
Yes.
Guys, if you have any questions about LPT, I mean, either reach out to Jenny or Dee or myself. We're always here to bring you guys the best mentors out there, and top producing agents that are doing it. They speak their language, and this is exactly what they do day to day. So I know that you know, we have hurricane season coming in right now, right? So we want to see if you can talk to us, because you have a partner that owns a different business. So can you talk to us about, you know, what's happening in that aspect a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. So, funny enough, my partner in life, my husband of over 22 years together, owns a restoration company. It's called J&J General Damage and Recovery. And funny enough, because the last time that we were together, I was actually in the Florida Panhandle doing real estate,
Right.
doing interviews.
Yeah, you were.
Right?
Yeah.
And on a truck with him, you know, servicing other people to be able to help them during their time of loss through a hurricane that had happened in the Panhandle. So yes, Hurricane Michael is very, no, Hurricane Michael was then. Hurricane Ian is now.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, you know, sad to say that we follow and track the hurricanes because that is our business. And we want to make sure that those who are affected by it, right, are in fact blessed by the services that we can offer. And so basically, my husband owns a restoration company. And what that means is in the time of a damage to your home, whether it's a roof leak, whether it's the fences that fell down, or whatever types of damages, we go in there, we help the clients, we service them with our machines, and we walk them through the process of educating them how and when to claim. Because there's so many people that'll tell you, yeah, put a claim to your insurance. No, guys, that's not how it works. I am a woman of my word, and that's how I have built my business, and my husband as well. And we want to make sure that the same way I can tell you, hey, now's not the time to sell, we're also going to tell you, hey, you know what? Don't put a claim in for that because it's not worth it. But if there is a need for it, and if there is a valid, you know, opportunity for you to be able to put in, you know, a claim because you've got, you know, roof damage, because you've got, you know, a fire damage also, you know, depends on what the scenario is, but we will help you and walk you through it. We've got the people in line, you know, plumbers, you know, adjusters, everybody who will be able to set the scenario. And there's a way, just so everybody knows, and just to educate, because honestly, I think a lot of it is just education. There's a way to present things to your insurance company. You got to have pictures, you know, you got to have thermal readings of, you know, what moisture is in your home, the water damage photos that only an infrared gun can tell you if you have leaks inside the home that you may not even know of. I remember, you know, during the Hurricane Michael in the Panhandle, you know, we would walk into people's homes and they're like, oh no, you know, everything's fine here. And we would say, listen, we're going to just give you a free inspection. Would you mind? And the moment that we would come around with that thermal imaging and they could see on their walls blue means moisture. It means that there's water. And so they freak out and they're like, I would never have known. Guess what? That water that isn't properly dried becomes mold. And if you don't get to it within 48 to 72 hours, you're going to have mold in your home and you don't realize it. And so I just urge you, you know, I want to urge people to just get a free inspection. I mean, listen, even right now with all the rains that were happening here currently in Miami, you know, you might have damage that you don't even know about too, you know, or to an extent that you don't realize that in your roof, you've got insulation that's getting wet. And then you say, well, it's no longer, you know, wet anymore, but all that stayed wet. And now you're breathing that. And that's why we see so many issues, you know, with allergies, you know, mold inside our home that, you know, properly taken care of. So, yeah, basically Hurricane Ian is happening in Florida somewhere, whether it hits in Tampa, Tallahassee, we're not really sure, but we are tracking it. And if any of your friends or family are affected by it, you know, Vera, I know my husband chimed in with you and he offered his services in case, you know, you want to have the proper source to reach out to. And we're excited to be that source for anybody that may need it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yes.
Guys, Jenny, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so, so much for making the time to give us the exclusive. Yes. Now we know what LPT Realty is all about. And you guys know as well, if you want more information, you can follow her on Instagram at Jenny Sells Miami. We have shared all of her info at our social media at Magna Monday, so you can follow us as well. And also keep the information handy if you have, you know, either storm, water, or fire damage for J&J General. I shared the link as well, so you guys can keep it and save it just in case. Thank you so much, Jenny. Thank you, Erica.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies. Love you all. It's a blessing to be here.
And we'll definitely see you soon. Stay safe, everybody, because we are getting a lot of rain. So stay safe. And if anything, hopefully it won't not rain as much. But we're having J&E Title Services are having an amazing happy hour on Wednesday in medio de la Hispanidad. So come and dance casino with me. I'll be there. I'm going to post all that information. Again, thank you so much, Jenny, for being with us today. And we'll see you again on another Magnum Monday.
Bye, guys.
Bye, ladies.
Bye, guys.